In a faraway land, a young fairy princess was about to become the next queen of her kingdom. From the moment of her birth, she was prepared to be someone she didn't want to be. Every day, she sat down in her study room and read books about magic. Each day, she tried to do a spell, but nothing ever happened. No matter how hard she tried, she wasn't able to succeed. She felt the enormous pressure in every fiber of her body. Disappointed in herself, she lowered her head and got lost in her thoughts. Suddenly, disappointment turned into anger, and she couldn't handle it anymore. She grabbed the book she was reading and smashed it behind her. She flinched as a loud sound echoed through the room. The book had destroyed a vase that stood in a corner. She'd had enough of the castle and decided to get as far away as possible. So she left the room and walked down the long hallway until she got to her bedroom. She changed her clothes, went back out into the hall, opened the window, and flew out. She enjoyed the warm air and the breathtaking landscape. She landed by a small pond and leaned against a tree. Still emotionally shattered, she tried to hold back her tears when she noticed something glowing in the tall grass. She leaned over and pulled a small old book out. She took a closer look and opened it. The first page read, "May the book be a help to everyone in need." A glimmer of hope raced to her heart as she started reading. The book included spells from bygone times, self-confidence, and the connections between living things and Mother Earth. However, it was very much different from the books she'd read in the castle. They were all about being the best, the strongest, performing absolutely perfectly. Each and every book, spell, and even the execution was pre-selected by others. This was different. Never in her life had something given her that much self-awareness and strength. So, she read and read until she finished the book when she noticed it was nighttime. Suddenly, she was driven by an irrepressible urge. She sat down by the pond and took a deep breath. As she closed her eyes, her fingertips started to tingle, and a bright light appeared. With her own willpower and strength from within, she created something magical. Shivering but overjoyed, she wanted to take the book and go home, but the book was nowhere to be seen. She looked around in panic. As before, she felt desperation running through her body now that her biggest help was gone. Devastated, she returned home. A day passed, and her life went back to normal. She walked back to her study room and noticed the damage she'd left behind. Her fingertips once again felt tingly, and she remembered the day before. So she concentrated as hard as she could when the shards of the broken vase started to move. One by one, they flew back into place until the vase was no longer broken. From that moment on, she knew that if she only believed in herself, she could do anything.